with Larry K.
That is the face. That is the face of the guy who is doing nothing good with this franchise, giving us no hope, no excitement, nothing. That is the guy. Click that like button while you're in here. We're not going to get enough people in here to hear me and G's epic rant. This is I'm so annoyed that my microphone cable fell out. That's how ridiculous this franchise is. This guy right here. This guy, you know what he really is? I used to say that Stephen Ross was a corrupt, rich billionaire guy who, I don't mean corrupt literally, like illegally. I just mean, in the way he does things in general, figuratively. He was the kind of guy who just wanted to get money out of the Dolphins, wanted to make money, didn't care about winning or losing on the field. All he cared about was his investment. I know that has been going around with a lot of people. All he cares about is his investment. But now I'm starting to get the feeling that Stephen Ross is not a big investor type guy. I'm starting to think he's more like this dude. I think Stephen Ross is a fanboy who doesn't know a damn thing about football. The same way so many other people don't. Two aside, Michael K, what's good? Ryan AP, what's good, bro? Good to see everybody here. Look, man. Stephen Ross, I think he falls in love with players. I think he falls in love with coaches the same way the fan base does. Let me tell you what I did today. I'm in New Jersey, and so there's a lot of Jets fans around me, a lot of Giants and Jets fans. Jets made blockbuster trades today. Blockbuster. Sauce Gardner, who pretty good player, nice defensive piece. Not the kingmaker, not going to necessarily make you a championship team per se. Just signed him, big deal. Send him to Indianapolis for 2 first-round picks. 2 first-round picks. That means the New York Jets not only are in better draft position than us so far this year, but they got 2 more first-rounders coming from Indianapolis. Then they move Quinton Williams for another one. So the New York Jets are set up like bandits. And don't forget, the New England Patriots fired their guy last year and hired Mike Vrabel, and now they're doing a lot better. You know who's sitting on their hands? Doesn't want to get rid of and the Jets fans. Let me tell you, a lot of Jets fans were mad they got rid of Sauce. Why? Because fans of mediocre franchises tend to fall in love with guys who have mediocre results, and they get attached to players that are mediocre in general, that aren't going to move the needle, aren't going to improve the team's outlook, but they just get attached to them. So they were upset Sauce was gone. And there were some Dolphins fans who were like, oh, don't trade our guys. Don't trade them. But I said, you guys are wrong, man. You want to get those assets. You're not going anywhere anytime fast. Why are you paying this guy all this salary when you have no window to be a contender anytime soon? Bro, we had to keep Tua. No one's trading for Tua. No one's trading for Tua. The only way Tua is going to be gone is if we cut him. No one's trading for that salary with that guy. No one is calling and trading for Tua and that salary. That is an albatross on your cap book. That is just a nightmare. But they didn't. And by the way, Ian Rappaport reports there were calls for Jalen Waddle. There were calls for Jalen Waddle, but the Dolphins didn't pick up the phone. There were probably calls for Chubb and Minkah Fitzpatrick. Dolphins didn't think that it was good enough. Adam, a Fury Fam member, a Fury Fam family official. What's up, my brother? Chuck Cooper in here, keeping it 100. Yes. They didn't pick up the phone for any of these guys. Now I don't know. Look, were the offers too low and the Dolphins thought we don't want to do it for that low? There's a lot of speculation out there. But to me, you can't tell me that somebody, if they are given 2 firsts for Sauce Gardner, 2 firsts, you can't tell me somebody wouldn't have paid a little bit too much for Jalen Waddle. You can't tell me that. There's no one else on the roster besides Jalen Phillips, which, by the way, good trade, 3rd rounder, maybe better than he's worth. TD said it. It's true. You know, his salary is a little rough. Didn't think we'd get it. We're paying some of his salary so that he could be taken off our hands by the Eagles. 3rd round pick. Here's the thing, though. And I agree, Chuck. Completely agree. Here's the thing. And it's I can't. I said that, maybe they got rid of Chris Greer when they did because there were going to be moves before the deadline, and Chris Greer couldn't be a part of those moves because we were going to move on at the end of the season. Champ Kelly is the interim GM, Jason. He's currently the GM of the Miami Dolphins. So the guy who couldn't move Tua because no one wants Tua. No one's going to trade for him. I said that maybe they got rid of Chris Greer because they needed to make moves. But now I'm thinking, and it's a scary thought, I'm hoping that they just didn't trade because the price wasn't good enough and they think they could do better in the offseason. I truly hope so. Yes, he was. I truly hope so. But I fear so much that some of the narratives were true. And I fear that Chris Greer was the only thing that's going to go. And that they're keeping the boys together, man. Keeping this sorry-ass, mediocre team together. And Mike McDaniel's going to be the coach. And Tua Tagovailoa is going to be the QB. And they're keeping these guys, Waddle, all these guys. Maybe they were a little nervous about Phillips getting hurt again. But other than that, they're keeping the band together. They're going to run this thing back one more time. And if they do that, we're going to be even further behind the 8 ball while the Jets run away with picks. And we are going to be setting ourselves back years once again because Stephen Ross is a terrible, absolutely pathetically incompetent owner. It's ridiculous. If he really, if this man, if this guy, if this dude, I swear, if he seriously keeps this coach and saddles a GM with this coach and eliminates the GM pool because he's only going to be able to interview guys who want to work with Tua and McDaniel, and then we're stuck with that GM who was subpar because he was only one of the guys who would work with them, which eliminates a lot of the better candidates. And we're stuck with that guy when we hire a new coach, and then the coaching candidates are smaller because it has to be only somebody who will work with this GM. I might have to retire this show because I don't know if I'm going to be able to follow the Miami Dolphins anymore. It's already painful for me to pay attention to them now. It's painful. I genuinely don't like this team right now. I don't like anything about them. They are clowns. I find it hard to root for them. And not doing anything other than one trade before the deadline when you have assets and people are calling you and you just fired your GM to advertise to everybody that you're turning the page, that you're rebuilding in a season like this with the stakes where they are and the chapter about to turn. You already screwed up last offseason. This is what you do? Come on, bro. Come on. What a joke. Say your piece. I mean, what are we doing, G?
Larry, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay, good. I want to make sure. I'm going to try my best not to swear.
Yeah, don't swear.
But this team is an effing joke. I mean, what are we doing here, man? How are we here at 7:38 after the trade deadline and Minkah Fitzpatrick, Bradley Chubb, Rasul Douglas, and Matt Judon are still on the roster? I mean, what were our trade expectations? Were we expecting to get third-round picks for all these guys? Listen, I would have took a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, a next year's sixth. Like, what are we doing, bro? This team's a joke. Stephen Ross, this guy's I don't want to go terrible. He wants to win. I'm starting to think he doesn't want to win because what is this clown doing, bro? I mean, this is Tom Garfinkel, this four-eyed geek, Brandon Shore, this four-eyed geek. They don't know what they're doing. Get them out. I mean, this team's a joke. The new interim GM, he's basically a Chris Greer, bro. I mean, I bet Chris Greer could have probably done more than him today. I mean, this team's a joke. And Larry, I know the why. I know why we kept hold of our players. I'll explain why, man, but this is a joke. This is why we're not winning a playoff game anytime soon. We're never going to win a playoff game. We're never winning a Super Bowl because Stephen Ross doesn't know what he's doing. Do you know that Donald Trump meme? That's basically how I feel in the round. They don't know what the F they're doing. This team's a joke. And guess what, Larry? We have 8 games to go. We have to win all 8 games to make the playoff. How realistic is – and look at the team. We got the Bills, Commanders. I mean, yeah, without Jaden Daniels, but who knows? The Jets, the Saints, that's probably going to be 2 wins to ruin our draft pick even more. You still got to play the Patriots at the end of the year, who will be fighting for a division title playoff seeding. You got the Steelers, who will be fighting for a divisional title or playoff seeding. Bengals, who knows with them right now. Bucks. I mean, yeah, the Bucks are NFC, but they're going to be fighting for playoff seeding. This team's a joke. Clown show, and we'll get a new GM. I'm starting to think, Larry, we're not getting a new GM from outside. Our new GM is in-house. It's going to be one of these geeks in-house, and let me tell you something. Even if it's not, now this is why we didn't trade anyone, folks. It's because Stephen Ross likes Mike McGeek. He believes in Mike McGeek, and he thinks he can make this coach can lead us to a plan. That's why we didn't trade anybody. Mike McGeek's coaching for his job. He thinks we're going to win 8. I'm rooting for this team to lose. I hope we don't win a game the rest of the year. I hope the Jets, without Sauce Gardner and Quinton Williams, I hope Justin Fields throws for 400 on us. I hate this team. This team pisses me off. I'm sick of this nonsense. I hate this team. And Larry, you just said it. The new GM is going to have to come in and work with Mike McGeek because we have nothing. We have no draft picks. We have no cap. We have barely any talent. I mean, Waddle and A-Chain, I understand not trading them because if you bring in a rookie quarterback, you got 2 weapons there. But these defense, rebuilding, you should have got picks for them. But I'm starting to believe Ross doesn't give a crap. He doesn't care. He only cares about money. Garfinkel, Shore, all these clowns, they only care about money and money. They don't care about winning. If they cared about winning, all these guys would have been out. We would have started prepping for the future. I'm starting to believe new GM comes in. They're going to be forced to work with Mike McGeek and Tua because $117 million, they're dead cap. They're not going to want to work with that. So they're going to come in, be forced. Then about 3 years, when it fails again, they're going to fire McGeek. They're going to finally get rid of that Hawaiian bum, and they're going to go get their new coach, their new GM. This team's a joke. And these fans, man, not all you fans, people like me, Larry, these fans like us, I love each and every one of you. But these fanboys out here, showing love to Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips sucks. He didn't win us anything. I'm glad he's gone. And all you like, oh, we can't trade Waddle. We can't trade A-Chain. We'll have nothing. Screw you because we need picks. We have no future. We're not winning with them too. You could. I don't know what we're doing. I really don't.
I have no clue what we're doing.
We have no future. We're not winning with Waddle and A-Chain.
It's
at least for the time being.
It makes no sense, G. Absolutely none.
It's a joke.
I have no clue what we're doing. I don't think the Dolphins have any clue what they're doing. Sitting here, I have to be honest. As incompetent as this administration seriously is, as incompetent as this owner and this GM were, and this head coach and this quarterback, I still was surprised we didn't do anything today. I really still thought that even though I knew this organization was absolutely pathetic, I still thought we would at least have one more trade in us. The fact that we didn't even we didn't do anything. We didn't even move like a low-tier guy or sell off one of our picks for some prospect. We did absolutely nothing. I was actually surprised, G, that we did absolutely nothing. It's insane. I just can't. I don't understand.
After the Jalen Phillips trade, I was feeling ecstatic. I thought we were going to be making more trades. I thought more would be coming today. Jerry Jones talking about trades. I thought he was trading for, Chubb and Fitzpatrick together. But I wake up today, I see the Logan Wilson trade. I'm like, okay, slow day. Dolphins will start cutting, because the last 2 times I've woken up, the Dolphins made moves. They traded Phillips and they fired Christopher. Thought we'd get news, and I'm in class. I check my phone, nothing. I come home, I keep checking my phone. I'm watching ESPN. I see nothing. And by the time I left for work, I knew we're not doing anything. We're staying pat. They think they can win the next 8 games in a row, even snip the playoffs. We're not making the playoffs. We're talking nonsense. 8 in a row. We have to win every game to even sniff the playoffs. Not even mention, maybe we don't even have any tiebreakers. It's a joke. This team sucks. I hate talking about this team. This team pisses me off.
It sucks. And Crazy Dolphin, thanks for the donations. Much appreciated for the super chat. I'm enjoying your podcast with Greg. The only enjoyable thing these days seems to be to do these podcasts and to just vent about how bad the Dolphins are, because the actual football on the field has been basically a sleeper, a snoozer that nobody cares about for years now, a few years. It's a joke. Crazy Dolphin, thanks once again, and thanks for tuning in, everybody. I got a comment here. Chubb and Minka should have been moved. There's no need to keep these guys. The organization's an absolute joke. It won't change until the old geezer sees the stars in the sky permanently. Look, even if somebody didn't want Chubb because of his salary and because of the injury, that was another failed Greer trade. I know he was okay that one year when we got him, but he was coming off an injury. He wound up injured again. Maybe somebody didn't want him, but trade him off for something. You're not going to get anything if you wind up just cutting them. I don't care what they were offering you. Get rid of some of these guys. And Chubb was the low-hanging fruit. Take what you can get for him. He's not going to be here. He's not part of the long-term plan. You might as well get something. But then a Jalen Waddle, you're paying him a bunch of money. And even a Devon Achane. I don't know if they got any calls on Devon Achane, because that wasn't confirmed the way that the Waddle calls were confirmed. But our very own Phil Montgomery, who's an executive member on this channel and writes columns occasionally, pointed out that Achane's going to be up for a contract soon. And why would you keep guys who are in the prime of their careers with high contracts on a team that's going to be brand new and learning how to win, and on a team where you're going to need to fill out that team with younger guys and then maybe add some pieces later? Why would you bog yourself down with guys that are already well into their prime? Those guys are at peak value for trades, peak value to get assets for them. And you're not in a position to make a run. You're not in a position to contend right now. So when you have a guy at peak value and you're not going to contend, the best move is to trade that guy to a team who is contending. Get as much as you can for that guy, because you're going to be rebuilding anyway. And by the way, how about these players, Achane, Waddle? These guys deserve a chance too. Jalen Phillips is now on a team that's going to contend. Just like Jay Ajayi, he might go win a damn Super Bowl. And, give these guys a chance. If a contending team wants them, they get to go to a true contender in the prime of their careers and actually make something of themselves. And we can get the most assets we're ever going to get for these guys. Why wouldn't you do it? I'm just incensed that there wasn't one move. Not one move. I can't stand it. And Chuck Cooper says Big O claims Ross did Greer a solid and parted ways so he wouldn't have to continue. Big O just talks nonsense out of his butt. I have no clue what that guy in any way, shape, or form is ever talking about. He's only saying that because he, just like he co-signed Tua, he co-signed Greer for all these years. And so now Big O has to save face, as usual, by saying, oh, no, he wasn't fired. He wanted to leave. Okay, Big O. Just like Tua's an elite quarterback after one game against Atlanta, but all of a sudden it's everybody else's fault when he loses. Big O, guys like him are the problem with this fan base.
Get him out. I mean, this is a joke. Larry, I mean, it's been talked about. Practically everybody outside of Waddle and Tua and A-Chain, a bunch of these veterans, they have no guaranteed money after this year. Which means you can cut them. Why couldn't we get a fifth round pick or a sixth round pick is better than nothing because we're going to cut them I'm telling you right now, Chubb, Fitzpatrick, maybe Douglas, whoever else is on no guarantee. They're all going to be cut at the end of the year, and we got nothing. A fifth round pick's better than. How many times have I been setting up here telling you, Patriot Dynasty, they drafted 5th, 6th, 7th round steals. The Chiefs have done it. The Ravens, all these teams that win hit on their late round draft picks. Oh, a 5th and 6th round pick, a 7th round pick, they don't hit. They're basically UDFAs. Good. I don't care. At least you have a shot at getting your guy rather than waiting till hopefully he signs it. You get your guy. I mean, this is a joke. We're getting nothing for these guys. And people out here on Twitter were crying about, oh, Jalen Phillips. Oh, we got the Eagles third. That's going to be a late fourth. It's better than what we would have gotten, which we weren't going to pay him. We weren't paying him. I would take that. I mean, yeah, I would love the Jets third, but I'll take the Philadelphia. It's another third. It's another asset. Well, you guys, someone on Twitter was saying, oh, Greer would have got better than a third. What are you people smoking? This fan base sometimes, I love you all, but you sometimes make me annoyed.
They make me more than annoyed. I mean, it's just, and what's funny today, G, was I was seeing even more than just our fan base. I mean, the Jets, a lot of Jets fans were just mad because they traded their guys. But like, this is the problem with mediocre teams. The best teams, their fans, I never see the best teams' fans crying about one player moving or another. It's usually looking at the actual value returned. Like, I'm a New Jersey Devils fan. They've been a contending team many years, not as good the last couple of years, but a proud history in recent memory. Those fans, they look at assets and they care about like how long a guy is going to be there, what they're getting in return, whether he's going to be worth his contract. The Dolphins, all they care about is keep our guy, keep him, give him the money, give him the bag, keep him. I don't want him to go. And same with the Jets fans. It's like, that's the wrong move. The Jets are lucky that they're not listening to their fans and they're finally making moves that have to be made. And what sucks is we did this with Greer initially, but then he squandered those picks.
Oh, yeah.
And we squandered it with this quarterback. It's sad, man.
Isn't Woody Johnson a big sauce guy? He repping the sauce chain. He's not like Stephen Ross doing the waddle and keeping this bum. I mean, even with the Patriot fans, Patriots would lose a free agent. Not one would cry about it. Now, they did cry about Danny Amendola. That's because he went to our Dolphins, but you get the point. When Nate Solder was a free agent, he signed like a 4-year, 100, whatever Nate Solder's deal was. They weren't crying. They went out and got Trent Brown. When Trent Brown left, they weren't crying about him. Who else? I think there was some other players. I can't remember off the top of my head. Whatever a Patriot free agent went, they weren't crying because you know what they did? They went to the draft and they got a guy maybe in the 5th, 6th round and they replaced, and they just keep replacing talent. This team doesn't know what they're doing. And listen, I love Dan Marino. I feel like he doesn't know what he's doing either. He's a great. I didn't watch him, but he's a great quarterback. I don't think he knows what he's doing. Tom Garfinkel is mothering his nonsense in here. To Brandon Shore, his stupid geekiness, murdering everyone's. It doesn't matter who the next GM is. We're not doing anything. We're not winning. We are now the new Cleveland Browns fan. Where is it? We are now the new Cleveland Browns, folks. Get your paper bags out. New Browns, man.
It's just, gee, it's a joke, man. I agree with you. Even if we did do the right things, we're probably still not going to succeed because this GM and this organization is so incompetent in every way. But I at least want some hope and some assets. Like what they're showing me is there's not even a hope. Even if it's unlikely, at least I want to have hope. What they're showing me now is they're not even trying. They're not even trying to turn the page and do the right thing. And Super V says even the Jets, after their trades, have surpassed this dumbass team. Yes, there is not a team in this division that is not better positioned than the Miami Dolphins because we handcuffed ourselves to a mediocre quarterback who's playing terribly and is not durable. A head coach who has been figured out. We're saddling ourselves with hiring, if he stays, to those two guys. We had a chance to trade marquee players for top assets in their prime, and we chose not to do it. Everything this team does is always an epic fail, and I'm just so incensed. I know I've said that. I feel like it's deja vu. I just said that 10 minutes ago. but I really am sick and tired of following this team that gives me nothing that's actually tangible. No tangible results, no hope for the future, just nonsense after nonsense. And they think we're going to be content because guys in the fan base like Big O and these other people are out there who just will support it no matter what, just so they cheer for their guys, even when we suck. And you know what, G? That's getting less. Like, I see less of those guys now. Like, everybody's finally starting to get sick of this, and he still won't do anything. Yeah, you fire Chris Greer. Bro, fire him and McDaniel last offseason. Why did you waste another 6 to 8 games, which I said was going to happen, just to fire him anyway? And this Dan Marino thing, look, Dan Marino's a beast. He was an excellent quarterback. I did get to see him play. He didn't, unfortunately, win a Super Bowl. He did win an AFC championship. He did get to the Super Bowl. That counts for something, too, because those don't come easy. He was tons of division titles, a bunch of other accolades, playoff wins, even though he struggled and choked. The team choked down the stretch in a lot of playoff games, and that's part of his legacy he's got to live with. But the dude isn't a front office type dude. He's not a John Elway. He's just a figurehead. He's up there in the office hanging out, giving his 2 cents here and there, but he's not actually there. Now, I don't know if he would ever want to be. I don't think he's the right dude to do it. I think we need a legitimate executive in there. But here's the thing, G. We're not going to get a legitimate executive. We're not going to get a legitimate hire if they have to come in with McDaniel, without assets, with this quarterback. If this GM could have come in, if we could have traded some of these guys, we'd be a much more attractive destination for the best of the best candidates, because we'd have a lot of assets to work with, and we would have signaled to that GM that we were ready to move on from this era. But instead, we did the opposite. We didn't give them the assets, and we are wishy-washy about whether we're really going to move on because we can't let go of the pieces from this failed iteration of the team.
And Larry, if let's say this, Larry, we Chris Greer's already gone. Let's say we're not hiring the interim, and let's say we fire McGee. But what if the New York Jets all of a sudden they fire their GM tomorrow and their head coach? What job would be more attractive? Would you rather go coach the Jets with 5 first-round picks, or come to the Miami Dolphins where you have probably going to have a dead cap hit of $117 million and basically no assets? Who would you rather be, man? The Jets have surpassed us. We are now the Browns, bro. We are terrible. It goes Bills, Patriots. I mean, they both are basically the same. They got great quarterbacks. Jets now got 5 first. They're way ahead of us. Even if we get a new coach, a new GM, we're going to have a $117 million cap hit. No assets. I have no faith. Even if we somehow get rid of McGeek, I have no faith in Ross getting the right GM. And even if he does get the right GM, he'll meddle in the coaching staff. This guy's a clown. Just sell the team and get out, bro. Take your money and go.
I wish he would just.
I don't hate Stephen Ross. He says he wants to win. I don't believe it. I'm sure he's a great guy. I'm sure if I was invited to the press box, me and him would be cracking some laughs. He's not, I mean, just sell the team, give it to your daughter. I mean, dude, you don't know what you're doing. You're flying from New York, doing whatever you do there. You come down to South Beach, and then you meddle in stuff. You fire the wrong guy. You just watch this team stick up the joint. Honestly, I think you fire the wrong guy. I think Chris Greer should have kept this job over McGee. You fire Greer at the end of the day. This team's a joke. I hate this team, man. I really do.
And I agree with you on so many levels, bro. It's just it's absolutely crazy. It doesn't seem like he cares. It doesn't seem like he has any actual understanding of football at all. And I think we already know that. But, you know, to let Greer go randomly in the middle of the year. And here's the thing, if you're going to let Greer go, you already must have some suspicion that things aren't going great. So why would you let him, if you're going to get involved so much, why would you let him pull the trigger on that massive contract for Tua if he was going to be gone in a year and a half? Like, have some foresight, man. Like, either just leave Greer here for the foreseeable future and let him do whatever he wants, or don't let him make that kind of deal a couple years ago. Come on, anybody could see that was a terrible, terrible deal. And here's the thing, though, G. The reason I bring that up is I don't think that you can put that contract on Greer just under.
That's what I was going to say.
Ross had a lot to do with it. I think Ross had a lot to do with it. He's probably talking to McDaniel, who was to his boy up until recently when McDaniel realized, this guy ain't going to get it done, and I'm screwed. But I think Ross had a lot to do with it, and that's even more troubling because that means the problem hasn't gone yet.
Greer, This is where I agreed with Greer. I mean, Chris Greer has made terrible draft picks. He was willing to let Tua play the 5th year. I think he's stern fat. We're going to let him play. With the injury history, the concussions, he was going to stay pat, let him play the 5th year option, see what happens. If we have to pay him a little bit more, sure. But what ended up happening is Tua going out here saying the market is the market and all this nonsense he was saying. And then Tua practiced one day. Then I think he sat the second day when I think Ross was in attendance and he saw how bad his offense is. So McGreer takes a step above Greer and says, this is our guy. He's the only guy that can run the system, blah, 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 this nonsense. We need to pay him, blah, blah, blah. Then Ross probably went to Greer and friends and said, we gotta make the deal. Brandon Shore obviously said, no, it'd be terrible. Ross didn't care. He said, get him paid. We got him paid. We're stuck with this nonsense. And look at what happened. I believe that year, didn't Tua get hurt and we went to KC or was it? I don't remember the year. I don't know if that was the year he got hurt. We went to Buffalo. I think that was the year before. But either way, he got hurt. We somehow made the playoffs. We went to KC. We got him. Oh no, I'm wrong. That was the Tennessee year.
Yes,
that was the Tennessee year. We folded, and then Baltimore. We got our kicked in. Buffalo choked the division title at home and went to KC and got embarrassed. Yes. I honestly hope, man. I want us to lose every game. I'm not rooting for this team. I want us to lose because that's the only way, Ross. I want this team to be nationally embarrassed. I want to get up every morning slamming the Dolphins on how bad they are because that's the only way it's going to get through Ross's thick skull is if we're being nationally embarrassed by these pundits like Mike Greenberg, Stephen A. Smith, Mike Florio, all these guys on ESPN, Fox, your local radio. I want us to be nationally embarrassed. But I honestly think, Larry, even with that loss to Baltimore, we're going to go on a run. I could see us winning the next 6. I really could. And then all of a sudden, we'll finish with 6 more wins on our 2. We'll finish 8-9 or something. And then Ross will be like, hey, McGeek did enough to keep his job. And then we, go find the GM for forcing to work with McGeek. We give Tua another year. It's basically running it back again. And then we'll be in the same. What's going to happen next year? We're going to start off, 0-8 and then win 9 straight? I'm sick of that. Either if you're going to win games, win them early. Be 6-2 by the trade deadline. But if you're going to be 2-7 like we are, just blow it up. It's ridiculous. Same thing with Flores. Now, listen, I love Flores. But when we were 1-7, I'm like, maybe we got to blow it up. I mean, maybe if we blow it up and we get rid of Tua, and we can work something. But, they listen to people like Big O and fire Cam Flo. They call him Cam Flo, blaming him on every loss.
I hated when he started doing. He's such a clown. Yeah.
They listen to these Tua fanboys out here saying Flores is the problem. Are we sure Flores is the problem? I think Flores is 100% right. And I hope, honestly, I don't know what Brian Flores is up to nowadays. I'm sure he's got a nice, ice house in Minnesota or a nice lodge, right? He wakes up every morning with the fire, turns on the fire, he drinks his cocoa, turns on the TV, and he's probably watching, and he's sipping his cocoa with a big old smile on his face, laughing because he's like, I told them, but they didn't listen to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just and his defense looks monstrous. I saw them beat the Lions the other day. Lions had a lot of injuries along the offensive line, but Flores is doing his thing, especially with guys like Van Ginkel on the team.
Yeah, Chuck Cooper. I know he wanted Deshaun Watson. Yes, Deshaun Watson is trash. But if you guys recall, if Deshaun Watson got his lawsuits done, he was going to be in Miami at the trade deadline. Again, I will reiterate that I've been saying this. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. But if Deshaun Watson comes to Miami, I think he's better than what he is in Cleveland. Because keep in mind, when they fired the head coach, they said the Texans told him they want Deshaun Watson involved. I believe they hired Lovie Smith. That's when Watson was done. So Flores wanted him. He wanted to be in Miami, not only because of beautiful weather. Dan Marino, Flores, he loved probably Coach Flo, wanted to be coached by Flo. And what happened? If he would have settled his lawsuits, he would have been here too, would have been out the door, but he didn't. And now, if you recall, Flores got fired, and I believe Greer it was asked about this at the Combine, and they said Tua's the guy, reiterating that nonsense. And then, obviously, Watson was probably maybe heartbroken, I don't know. Then the Cleveland, the owner wanted him. I don't think the coaches and GM in Cleveland didn't want him. So the owner got the thing done, fully guaranteed contract. I mean, Watson is just trash. I mean, again, would it have been different in Miami or would it have been the same? We don't know. We can't travel back in time. The only way we will know this is if we go on our Madden and we trade Deshaun Watson over. That's the only way we'll know.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I just think it was a stupid move any way you slice it. Tua was hurt the first year he got – first of all, he wasn't good under Flores, and there were a lot of back and forth about whether Flores was the guy, this and that, and Tua and his people won out. They got rid of Flores. Then he goes in with McDaniel. Stats look better. Game looks better because McDaniel's designed an offense exclusively for him. He gets hurt. He gets knocked out with the concussions, winds up out for the year. The Dolphins do make it to the playoffs, and they almost beat the Buffalo Bills with a much worse quarterback. Tua wasn't the X factor, obviously. The following year, he puts together his only complete year of his career. And in that year, he struggles and chokes against a better defense when Tennessee figures him out, the Chargers figure him out, goes down the stretch with a commanding lead in the division, a commanding lead in terms of possibly being a contender for the Super Bowl. Shake Money, another Fury fan member, and you guys all know Shake. What's up, Shake? He goes into there, loses, gets destroyed in the cold weather, and he's all bundled up and all like, I bundled up against KC. Really cold game, but bro, you're going to be the guy, be the guy. Then he's hurt again, and you want to give him this monstrous contract. He goes out last year, hurt again, with his shades on at night against the Jets, looking like a clown, and this guy is who you sunk all your money into. Whether his stats looked okay or not, there was simply not enough evidence that, A, he could stay healthy, because remember that narrative, it was, he just has to stay healthy. Even if his numbers were good and he was some great guy, he couldn't stay healthy. But aside from that, even when he was healthy in 2023, and I've said, and I will say again, 2023 was the only year this team actually had a legitimate shot, and they went all in for it. I don't blame them for it because it was the first time in a long time, and the only time, it's probably going to be the only time in a long time since that they actually had a chance. They went all in. But it wasn't good enough because the coach wasn't good enough, the quarterback wasn't good enough, and they got some unfortunate injuries. It is what it is, but putting all that money into him really, really, really was a mistake. G, what's your final kind of thoughts on this situation in the upcoming game? Because I got to hop off a little quickly, but I wanted the people to hear our thoughts on this trade deadline catastrophe.
Yeah, if you weren't going to go live, I was going to make probably a rant. That would have been a much more a little bit more rated R. But final takeaways, this team's a joke. This organization sucks. Garfinkel, Brennan Shore, you four-eyed geeks, get out of my franchise. Ross, sell the team or give it to your daughter. Tua, I'm sick of him. Now, we did see a report that they could bench him. I think that's a load of BS. I'm hoping and praying. I was going to come on and say maybe Quinn Ewers, you let him see what happens. Well, I mean, that's a different conversation for when it happens, but maybe Quinn Ewers shows flash, maybe saves McGeek's job. But that's what I was going to come on and talk about tonight. But this team wants to just sit here with their hands on their lap. It's a joke. I'm rooting for Buffalo. I hope and listen, I'm rooting for Buffalo. I think Buffalo, I think if you're a Buffalo fan, you're hoping we either beat you or that you somehow the game's close. Because if you're a Bills fan, you don't want to blow us out. You want us to keep riding this clown show. So if you're a Bills fan, I don't know if Michael K is here, but I'm sure if you're a Bills fan, you want Miami to either win or keep it close. So that way we keep going on this clown shoot. But I hope Buffalo puts 100 on us. I don't think they will. I hope they beat us by 50. This team's a joke. Let's go Buffalo. And honestly, I will say this too. This fan base also, we have nothing here. And all we got is laughing at the Bills losing to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, not winning Super Bowls. We're laughing at the Jets. Oh, the Jets got 5 first-round picks. Don't worry, though. The Jets will F it up some way. Then you got the Patriots. We got nothing here. The only thing we have is laughing at those sorry teams. And I'm sick of that, too. I hope the Bills or Patriots win the Super Bowl this year. And I hope the Jets draft 5 Hall of Famers with their next 5. This team's a joke. Go Buffalo.
And that's G's final word. I'll talk to you guys soon, man. We'll talk about the upcoming game, but this was a joke once again in a long line of jokes on this fan base. Keep it locked to the Phin-Addict Fury channel. We keep it 100% real all the time, as you guys know. If you haven't done so yet and you're in here, click that subscribe button. It's right there. Click it. Become a member and join the Fury fam. There's all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff you get. Join and become a member and support the channel. Until next time, man, me and G will be banging our heads against the wall somewhere, probably with a paper bag on it. And we'll talk to you later.
I know you heard me on the radio flexing. She loved the sound of my voice, it's the best thing. Daydreaming of the jazz jazz all day. Pick up the phone late night with Larry K.